right, everyone, welcome to part 8 of Let's Read Starfish. I'm going to try to read a little bit more in the hopes that we can be done with this relatively quickly or quicker. I don't know if I want to make another 3 parts, but I think I might be able to get this down to 2 parts left, including this part, maybe. But anyway, we'll see. Let's just go ahead and jump into it. Stretching. I have 2 seats, so I starfish, lean my head against the window, lift the seat arm, and stretch out my legs. When my family flies on vacation, I sit next to Dad. He doesn't care if my arms or legs touch his, but since I'm flying alone, I didn't want to sit next to someone who might throw a fit and say a fat girl's oozing onto their seat. Aunt Zoe's been booted off a flight, forced to walk down the exit aisle while everyone watched. And I've heard about social media posts from passengers who hate to sit next to fat people. Dad has, too. That's why he bought me 2 seats. And I'm pretty sure Mom doesn't know. So I think I read that one at the end of the last video, but review, that's where we are now. Down in Kokomo. There's a beach song called Kokomo, but the only waves around here are waves of corn and soybeans. And now they've all been harvested, Viv says. We barely take a breath, talking nonstop during the hour-long car ride from Indy to Kokomo. Next time I'm visiting in the summer, I blow on my hands to defrost them. How does anyone live in this cold? Hot food does wonders, Sue says when we get to their house. She scurries to the kitchen, the sweet scent of yeast rolls rising tempts my taste buds as she starts dinner. I focus on a dry erase board. Good luck on your test today. Love you, Mom. Right back at you, kiddo. I read note after note, and there's not a single article about weight loss. That's when I get an idea for the refrigerator at home. Groundhog Day. Before we go to bed, snow like powdered sugar sprinkles the trees. By morning, the branches sag under 6 inches of snow, like thick vanilla icing on cake. What you want to do today? Viv asks. We have skis. Want to try them out? I try to imagine skiing and see my legs ending up twisted like a pretzel or in the splits. The only splits this girl wants to do are banana splits. I offer up another idea. Let's build a snow woman. Snow's not common in the Big D, and this is the first real snow for Viv in Indiana. So it takes us a few tries to figure out how to pack the snow. The middle ball ends up larger than the base, so our snow woman leans. She's imperfectly perfect, like us, I say as we add the finishing touches. Cold and wet, we take refuge inside. Viv heats up some tomato soup and teaches me how to make a mean grilled cheese and hot cocoa from scratch. We eat while we watch an old movie, Groundhog Day. Phil, the weatherman, has to relive one day until he gets it right. February is a little over 2 months away, but I know I can't relive this day. We got it right. So the only thing I want to note, though, is like there's something telling about how she compares snow to like sprinkles and icing. It's something that is almost stereotypical when you think of fat people. I don't know. I don't think that does what the author thinks it's doing. Play ball. Basketball is to Indiana as football is to Texas. I get to watch Viv in the action as Comet. She works the crowd, directs the band using her tail, tosses school t-shirts to fans, and dances with the cheerleaders. Sneakers squeak and the ball thuds and makes a high-pitched ring as players run up and down the court. We score, they score. We stay tied the whole game. We go into overtime, double overtime. With 7 seconds on the clock, a Comet steals the ball and passes it to half court. The player shoots, swish, 3 points, nothing but net. We win. I'm hoarse by the end. It's the perfect ending to a perfect trip. Get the message. Getting up early is worth it when Mom walks into the kitchen and sees the refrigerator door and all of the cabinets. I plastered articles like wallpaper for Mom. My faves. Studies show a family's comments about an overweight child add to a negative self-image. Studies show it's not just kids and teachers at school who make fun of overweight kids. Parents also bully them. Kids don't need parents' judgment. The world gives them plenty of that. She doesn't say a word. Maybe she got the message. At my next appointment with Doc, she asks for examples of how I've been standing up for myself lately. I mentioned leaving articles for Mom. Genius idea. The best way to be understood is to learn and speak someone's language. So is she still putting up articles? She can't. I put up articles, plastered them everywhere. I've even started tacking them on my parents' bedroom door. If Mom was really as toxic as this book has made her out to seem so far, I find it hard to believe that she wouldn't, yell at Ellie for this. This seems like something that would trigger anger in a parent. I just don't, considering how she's put it on everything. Also, I don't really care for the therapist okaying and endorsing this kind of passive aggressive behavior. This is not good communication. This is being petty and passive aggressive, and it's not, good for communication. And I understand that she's the child and that it's not about putting responsibility on her for the communication between her and her parent. I'm just saying endorsing this kind of way of communication isn't something that I would think that a therapist would endorse. This isn't speaking Mom's language. This is Ellie being petty right back. Because she didn't, she's doing it, she doesn't get any confirmation whether Mom actually read the articles. She's putting it on Mom's door. It's not conducive to healthy communication. So why the fuck is the therapist promoting this? I'm not saying that Ellie is bad or anything for doing this, because she is 11 and being passive aggressive like this, and doing something back to someone that did something similar to you is very much within developmentally reasonable. I don't think that a therapist should be endorsing a child to do this. What do I want? The more someone gets to know you, the scarier it can be. What do you think? I ask when Doc gives me back my list of fat girl rules. It's not like bedtime reading, that's for sure. It seems like these rules would make you think about and hate your body every minute of every day. That's what society wants. What about what you want, Ellie? No one's ever asked me. I just did. I grab the throw pillow, hold it in front of my belly, slip my fingers through the loops of the fringe, around the edges, and twist the thread tight until my fingers turn white. I want people to accept me, just as I am. So who are you, Ellie? Describe yourself without talking about your size. I hug the pillow up higher near my heart. I can't. Doc puts down her notepad. The problem with the fat girl rules is you've let them not only decide how you're going to live, but also define who you are. I actually like this kind of thing. I don't like that it paints it in fat acceptance. This is kind of funny because they do kind of make fat their whole personality in many instances. And this is what Ellie is doing. But it's painted that she's doing this because she's a victim. And that's half true. It's half true because a lot of her existence has centered around being fat, both with how her mother and the bullies have treated her and shit. At the very least, Ellie could say something about how she likes swimming, the friends that she has. Even if it's still all externally based, she would have ways to describe herself outside that. Granted, she's 11. I don't know. A chance to be a bully. I think we should try a little exercise, Doc says, and taps an index finger to her lips. Which one? Hmm. 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 Just spill it, get it over with. I hold the throw pillow in front of my stomach again. You don't have to hide any part of yourself, Doc says. I see all of you. I accept all of you. I freeze. Finally realizing why I hug pillows, I put it down. How do you feel without it? Doc asks. Vulnerable, a little naked. Can you try it for a while? See what happens? I nod. Good. Have you ever dreamed of being someone else? Only every single day. Then today your dream comes true. I thought you were a therapist, not my fairy godmother. What can I say? I have a lot of hidden talents. She jogs over to the art table, dips her pen in glitter, and spins around as she waves it like a wand. Bibbidi boppity boo. You're Marissa and I'm you. I'm pretty sure Doc would have to cut my heart out for me to act like Marissa, but I'll give it my best shot. You need to stuff this under your shirt. I toss her the throw pillow. I stand up and circle her chair so I can look down on her. One side of my upper lip curls up as I focus on the frumpy, clumpy, bumpy pillow. You're so fat. You make whales feel skinny. That's a really hurtful thing to say. Well, it hurts my eyes just looking at you. Why are you so mean to me? I bend down so we're face to face. Because you deserve it. Deserve it. Too bad magic isn't real. You could fix everything with a wave of a wand. Doc waves her pen again. Biddy boppity boo, switcheroo. Now I'm Marissa and you're you. I sit in the chair. Doc stands. You deserve to feel pain. She's a better Marissa than I am. She goes right for the jugular. I'm a mini marshmallow in scalding hot chocolate, melting fast, going. Doc bends down and leans in so we're face to face again. Admit it. Going. Admit it. Gone. I nod. Doc pulls up the chair beside me. No one looks down on anyone now. You don't stand up for yourself because you think you deserve the hate. I nod, do an amazingly good impression of a bobblehead. I'm fat. I deserve whatever anyone says or does to me. No, Ellie, you don't. No matter what you weigh, you deserve for people to treat you like a human being with feelings. A lump grows in my throat, and I think I can't breathe, but I just can't swallow, so I gasp in a gulp of air. But I'm not, I think. I'm a big old fat thing. My own mom said so. Okay, so, completely understand the low self-esteem for Ellie. I understand all of this, but this... I don't know. I don't think that she necessarily thinks she deserves all of this, given that she's confronted her bully several times now. She did that whole passive-aggressive thing with her mother. Someone that truly believes that they deserve everything they get wouldn't necessarily fight back, in my mind. Really curious about your opinions on that whole scene. With a wave of a wand. Like Cinderella, my magical time ends. Doc's wand is a pen again, poised to take notes. What we just did was role-playing, which allows you to think, see, and feel like someone else and see yourself through their eyes. What did you learn from it? That your impression of me needs a lot of work. She pretends to take a knife out of her heart, and that I give bullies way too much power. They tell me how I should see myself, how I should feel about myself. How do I change that? She grins from ear to ear. I'm so glad you asked. Doc has 2 assignments for me. The first is to tell Mom that she hurts my feelings. If I don't feel comfortable doing that alone, I should ask Dad to be there with me. The second assignment is to start replacing all my untrue negative thoughts with true positive thoughts. That reminds me of what I have students doing with the trash can bulletin board enemy number 3 and I made at the library. But it's a lot easier to toss into the trash the thoughts others have about you than the ones you have about yourself. Deep doo-doo. Thanks to a screwdriver and chutzpah, I'm about to get some practice with changing my thoughts. Every Monday, Mom makes me step on the scale. I'm eating breakfast when she stumps into the kitchen. Where is it? In the trash. I eat the last spoonful of yogurt as she digs through the garbage. I buried all the pieces of the scale on the bottom, underneath dog dew I dumped. She gets it all over her hands. You're grounded, young lady. Doc and I talked about me having the right to stand up to Mom, just like anybody else, and that she probably wouldn't be happy about it. Doc and I didn't talk about involving dog poop. Crappity crap crap. My bad. What do you think you're doing? She gags as she runs to the sink. I'm not letting you weigh me again. Untrue negative thought. The higher my weight, the lower my value. True positive thought. A scale does not determine my worth. So again, I find it hard to like Doc knows her family situation. She knows how toxic the mother is. Why would she at the very least she would loop dad in my perspective. Like I understand standing up to a parent, but like there is a significant power imbalance here that Ellie doing this has more chances of hurting her, especially since if the mother is like emotionally immature and can't take criticism, and the way that Ellie even handled this, like the way that Ellie handled this isn't unreasonable for necessarily an 11-year-old, but the mother is very controlling and I suspect emotionally immature. And on top of that, Ellie threw in something really disgusting with the dog crap. So it just doesn't work. There's so many things wrong with this for me. I'm Ellie. In English class, Mrs. Boardman asks us to sum up what we've read with our favorite quotes from the book. I know just the quote from Song for a Whale. I raise my hand and she calls on me. The whale didn't need to be fixed. He was the whale who sang his own song. That really hit home. That's what the best books do. They make you think and rethink how you see yourself, others, and the world. Most of all, they make you feel feelings toward people who aren't like you, feelings you didn't know you had. Mrs. Boardman asks me for an example of singing your own song. Well, a lot of people blindly follow others instead of thinking for themselves, having their own voice. My eyes meet Courtney's. It's okay to be different. We're all different. Inside, everyone just wants to be accepted for who they are, but then they act like other people to fit in. What do you know? You don't fit in anywhere, Courtney whispers. I'm a whale, and she's like a hunter, always ready to attack with her harpoon tongue. I think about what Doc said, how I need to replace all my untrue negative thoughts with true positive thoughts. So I say to myself, I'm not a whale, I'm Ellie. Belonging. Hola, Sonia says, opening the front door for me and giving me a hug when I arrive for a sleepover a week later, since I'm no longer grounded. Catalina is up in her room. Hopefully she's finished cleaning. It was a mess. She rolls her eyes and shakes her head. That girl. What is it you say, Ellie? Oy vey. We laugh. I'd better get back to the kitchen. I'm making your favorite dinner. Chicken enchiladas. My mouth waters. Gracias. Hey, hermana. Javier, Nat, and Izzy call out. From the great room as I start up the stairs. Hola, I say. I'm over here so much. We're family and speak each other's language. Belonging feels good. Looks nice, I say to Catalina, and start to open the closet to hang up my jacket. Stop, don't! She throws her body across the door. I might have tossed stuff in there. Possibly, maybe. Just don't open it. Unless you're wearing a helmet or feeling lucky. With the clutter gone, I notice that in the middle of all the music posters on the wall, there's a map of Mexico before the Mexican-American War. It draws my attention like a long dash in a sentence. People make Catalina feel unwelcome here, but Texas belonged to her family long before mine, long before the rest of us. It's not fair. That felt really shoehorned in. Am I wrong? That just, I don't know. That there was something about that felt really shoehorned in, like she's just trying to, like the author is just trying to cover some bases. Hanukkah miracle. Catalina thinks Hanukkah is the Jewish Christmas, so before she joins us for Shabbat, during the Festival of Lights, I enlighten her. Neighbors gather in our backyard as Dad babies the brisket all day in the smoker. He makes an extra one to share. He talks tips and techniques, but he won't share his recipe. Barbecue is its own religion in Texas. I'm just thankful the Maccabees' miracle involved oil so we can feast on fried foods like potato latkes and sufganiyot crammed with blackberry jam. I probably really butchered that. The true Hanukkah miracle is Mom not saying a word about calories. I figure it's because of the articles I've been leaving for her. I don't think so, considering how mad she got about the scale. But okay. Unwrapped. Catalina and I exchange gifts in the spirit of Chrismukkah. She opens hers first, a leather journal with music paper, so she can write songs. I can't even begin to guess what this is, I say, peeling the paper off my present. The box is taller than me, and so heavy she had to have Javier carry it to my house. Side of beef, Liam mumbles when he walks by. New brother, Catalina doesn't mumble. That would be such a miracle, I say. You want to talk miracles? Liam being nice. No, that would be a miracle, Catalina says. She turns to Liam and challenges him. Why don't you try it sometime? Oh, I bet he's nice to her sometimes, Javier says. He knows we're lucky to have sisters to crack us up. It's wild that Javier is so nice. He can't imagine that Liam's so mean. After Javier leaves, Liam gives me an odd look, and I wonder if he'll ever see me like Catalina and Javier do. I'm so focused on my thoughts, I almost drop the box. Be careful. Catalina holds the box steady. After it tips. It might break. It does break. My heart. I run my fingers along the Mexican punch tin and orange and blue Talavera tiles, framing the full-length mirror. I see me, all of me, for the first time in a long time. My brown curly hair, milk chocolate eyes, slightly tanned skin from swimming, apple cheeks, round, soft body. I can't hold back the tears. It's beautiful. And I'm beautiful. Serving Christmas. Once a year we come together and act like a real family when we volunteer to serve Christmas dinner at the mission. When we run out of cookies, I go to the pantry for more. I turn the corner and see enemy number 3. He's trying on shoes. When they fit perfectly, his face lights up. His mom points to a pair of pants that are right in front of me. I quickly turn the corner. It's my turn to slam my body against a wall and suck in my stomach to make room for him, so he doesn't know. I know where he gets his clothes. He might not deserve that kindness, but I know he needs it. Oh, this was so close to me actually liking, like, her getting a level of compassion for, like, there's something to be said about showing people compassion even when they don't show you that compassion, but this kind of high and mighty attitude that we've seen in Ellie throughout the story. I was really kind of hoping this was a moment where she's nice simply for the sake of being nice and not for this weird sense of superiority. But then we get about this deserve it comment that just bugs me. Starting over. Mom has to work late, so Dad and I get to make s'mores on the chimenea. I hold my toaster fork over the flame until the fire chars it black before I blow it out and eat it, crunchy, sticky, and sweet. On the patio table, I see the latest book he's been reading. Is it any good? It's very interesting, he says as he bites into a s'more and strings of white goo stick to his chin. It's about cultures that have ceremonial burnings to symbolize letting go and starting over. I know what I want to let go of, so I can start over. Be right back. I go to my room and return. As page after page turns to ash and floats up the chimney, I feel more and more free. Fat girl rules make for a great kindling. I've realized it's the only thing they're good for. This was really close to actually being a satisfying turn because we have gotten the fat girl rules throughout. The difference between, like, when the therapist hands him back and they're like, I feel like if there had just been one more thing, it would have been a really well done part of Ellie's arc. It wasn't, I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't terrible, but there have been a couple of different times now where there wasn't a payoff for something, and this one we got a little bit of a payoff, but it still could have been just a little bit better. But I mean, it is a middle grade book, so there is that. All figured out. Doc starts with small talk to get me talking, then, boom, catches me off guard with a question. I have her all figured out. She asks what I did over the holidays. I destroyed the fat girl rules. I reach for a throw pillow, put it in front of my stomach, quickly put it back down. Habits are hard to break. Fat girl rules. That's no way to live, Doc says. Tell me about it. So why did I hear a hint of sadness in your voice when you said you destroyed them? As I think about Doc's question, a memory comes to mind, and I tell her about it. One time, Pugs Forever rescued a dog who spent her entire life in a cage at a puppy mill. Even after I opened the door, she stayed inside the kennel. Every now and again, she'd stick out one paw or her head. But then she looked at the kennel, all sad and a little afraid, and slinked back in. Caged was the only life she'd ever known. One day 2 rescues scampered in and out of her cage. They showed her they were free, and she could be. She ran out and joined them. I realized sometimes you need someone who understands what it's like to be bound, to show you how to be free. Very sophisticated thinking for an 11-year-old. Erasing the bad rules. Doc and I agree. I'm a lot like that rescued pug. I need to take some steps to live like I'm free from the fat girl rules. One of the steps is breaking free from Mom's rules. Mom always had all these rules. Carbs are bad, fat is bad, snacks are bad. So I've always felt like food is bad, and I'm bad for eating or wanting or enjoying or needing it. Doc walks over and writes Mom's food rules on the whiteboard before sitting down. Your turn. All the rules are here. What's left to do? Just think about it. It'll come to you. I stand in front of the board and read Mom's long list of rules. I grab the eraser and get rid of every last one. The issue is, though, is that Ellie hasn't felt that food is bad. Like, she makes so many comparisons. A lot of her descriptions involve food metaphors. She has no qualms with her friend bringing her snacks and eating. Like, there's no sense that she views food as bad. Like, her relationship with food in regards to her mother, like eating in front of her mother or something, is bad. Like, that I completely get. But her view on food itself, Ellie's view on food itself, is not necessarily negative. There's actually a little, it might have contributed to almost a level of obsession with food. I could see that. But I don't think it's made her view food itself as bad. Fix her upper. Mom's always finding new doctors to take me to fix me. I'm Mom's fix her upper. When she picks me up from school, it's off to another appointment. As she drives in the pouring rain, I lean my head on the cool glass. My puffs of breath fog up the window, creating a writing surface. Say you're ashamed of me, I think. Say you're disgusted by me. Say you'll never love me until I'm thin. When we arrive at the doctor's office, I slam the SUV door, hoping she'll read the message. I wrote with my finger. On the fogged up glass. Just say it. A big, fat surprise. We go to the doctor's office, and he motions for us to have a seat, across from him. Without so much as a hello, he says bariatric surgery is a growing option for obese kids. A growing option? That's supposed to be punny? I cross my arms over my chest to hide how much my hands are shaking. He smiles an awkward smile. Here's some information for you. He slides a folder to the edge of the desk, inches from me, right next to the plastic model of a stomach and intestines. This can't be happening, but it is. So do you struggle to lose weight and to keep it off? The doctor leans back and clasps his hands behind his head. His buttoned shirt gapes open, stretched tight over his big stomach. Do you? I stare at his belly, like he's been staring at mine. Let's focus on you. He explains the different strategies, benefits, risks, and side effects. Just think about it for now. You could have a whole new life, or no life at all. The doctor nudges the folder closer to me, as if it's food I'll devour. Is that all, I ask? Well, there are pre-op tests. So I do those tests, and then you slice and dice me? Abracadabra. I have a perfect life, no more problems ever, and Mom will finally love me? There, I said it. I scoot to the edge of my seat and wait for his answer. Then Mom speaks. Ellie, we're just trying to fix you. She places a hand on my shoulder, and that's the final straw. Blade against blubber. I knock the plastic stomach and intestines off his desk. My mind zeroes in on the hated stomach, the only part of me that matters to people. No one cares about my mind or its thoughts or my heart and its feelings. Let's do this. I slam my hands on his desk. Where do I sign? On second thought, why wait? I grab a pair of scissors out of doctor's desk caddy, knocking everything off his desk. Then I lift my shirt, expose a roll of blubber, and hold the blade against it. Eliana Elizabeth, Mom jumps up and jerks the scissors out of my hand as the doctor rolls his chair away from us. I think you better leave, or I'll have to call security. Really, Doc? Don't you want to make me skinny? Mom tugs my arm to get me up, forgetting how much I weigh. I stand up, smooth my clothes and hair. Nice meeting you, I moan. Okay, no, no, like she's shown a level of psychological break and a desire for self-harm with that. How did the doctor not say, I'm sorry, but she has to go to, like, especially since she's underage and stuff. Maybe can mom, like, sign an ADA, or not ADA, AMA, for her to not get her in, like, a 72-hour mental hold or anything? This seems like, I don't know. I find it weird that the doctor just rolled away, especially if the doctor works at all in pediatrics. Doesn't this seem like something that she would need to be on a psych hold, even a 24-hour psych hold, to see, like, how she is? I find it weird that the doctor is threatening to call security on her when she brandished it at herself, especially. Like, how does that, opinions? I want to hear opinions on this scene because it doesn't seem right to me. DUI of anger. The drive home is pleasant. Pleasant like stepping on a Texas fire ant mound. First comes a lot of fast biting and stinging. You embarrassed me to death, the tires squeal as Mom floors it out of the parking lot. Yes, it's all about you, I say as she merges onto the freeway and weaves in and out of traffic. She's a maniac, driving under the influence of anger. You completely overreacted. She cuts off other drivers and has a honking contest. What I did was an underreaction after learning that my mother planned for me to have a possibly life ending surgery. Don't be so dramatic. It's an option, that's all I'm saying. Aunt Zoe almost died from the same surgery. She was bigger than you, more out of shape than you. So you hate looking at me so much you're willing to chance me dying on an operating table or later from complications? Mom looks at me instead of the road. I never said I hate looking at you. Dart bus, I scream and point. She swerves. You're out of control with your eating, with that little episode back there. And you're a control freak, inventorying food, refusing to buy me clothes, trying to bribe me, or are we allowed to talk about my flaws? Fire ants' bites leave swollen red spots that turn into blisters, making the pain last longer, not unlike what we say to each other. Mom turns into our driveway and jerks us both forward again as she parks. She throws her hands up in the air. I'm trying to help. Yeah? By so-called fixing me? Well, guess what? I'm not broken. And if I am, it's because of you, not my weight. I slam the SUV door and stomp to the house. And that's about it. We only have a little bit left to read. We'll be able to finish this next time, which I'm glad. I was able to cut this down a little bit. But lots of dramatics. It seems like we're getting to the ultimate climax of the story with the confronting mom. I do think there's a level of truth with the you're being over dramatic and the minimizing mom minimizing her own behavior. I don't know. I feel like mom would escalate it a little bit more just given how much of a control freak we've seen that she is. But curious about your thoughts on those last few sections. But I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves and I'll see you next time.